So all these names are still in pretty hefty pullbacks from their absolute highs, but have also now bounced back a little bit as well. So it's not like that bare bones destruction where, what I was saying on Tesla, which proved to be right, and maybe we can take this exact same concept and apply it to some of these other stocks, was, look, I'm not a bull on Tesla. I don't think that anyone is surprised to hear me say that. I'm not a bull on Tesla, but I really felt that the sentiment risk on Tesla at that point was to the upside. This stock was just so beaten up going into that earnings report that I didn't think that they needed to report anything great in order for the stock to move higher, at least in the short term. And then at some point that'll probably give way again to the fundamentals. And guess what? Tesla's numbers were atrocious. They were atrocious compared to estimates, though I don't really think that the analyst estimates were fair because they hadn't been, I don't think, readjusted to some of the data that Tesla had provided a little bit more recently on some of their car numbers, and the whisper numbers were lower than what the estimates were. But regardless, they were abysmal compared to estimates. I don't think they beat on a single number on their earnings report, but stock traded great off of it. The best thing that came from Tesla's earnings report was Elon saying that he is probably going to be taking a half step back from Doge in the relatively near future. And that was enough in combination with the market to move higher to create a pretty strong positioning squeeze. And it was just on Friday that I was actually calling for a Tesla long versus 260, which was a great day trade or day and a half trade for anybody who got involved in it. So the point is, when these stocks are really beaten up into a report, sometimes they can miss on numbers across the board like Tesla did and actually go higher. So the question is, when we look at a Meta, when we look at an Amazon, when we look at Apple, when we look at Microsoft, they are off their lows. They're also well off their highs. Is there enough juice left in these names to be able to push these stocks higher, even if the numbers are, let's say, in line? And I want to think that the answer is yes, that generally speaking on inline numbers, these stocks can move higher. I also think that what we will see, and we just saw it with Google, is that if the numbers are just okay, expect some buyback announcements, expect some support to come from the company itself to help hold the stock up in this period of uncertainty. That doesn't surprise me at all. And then you got some really important levels that we can pay attention to, where post earnings report, we can see if they're trading above or below them. I think for Microsoft, which I have up right now, 395 is a huge level. Let's see, are we above 395 or below 395 after Microsoft reports? Apple, 210, pretty close to where it traded today, is a huge level. We're going to be above it, or are we going to be below it after the earnings report comes out? Amazon, 190, really important level that we need to pay attention to. And finally, Meta, a little bit further away. I think Meta really needs to get back above 580 in order to start looking a lot healthier again. So know your key levels as we go into the prints. See what guidance looks like, if these companies are providing guidance, withdrawing guidance. See if there's any buyback announcements like Google did to help cushion the blow of, Google was a very mediocre report. It was a very mediocre report. A lot of people were concerned on the growth of their ad business with search, and that's actually what beat. And cloud missed, which is not good. And YouTube was like in line, a very, very small miss, which is also becoming a super, super important company. Super important company for Google, because obviously they're the owner of it. But then they helped pad it with a nice buyback along with it. So I don't know if Google deserved to trade up to 165 without the buyback announcement initially. And we've seen it fade a little bit. And it's interesting that it faded on Friday when the rest of the market itself was so incredibly strong. But so just a little bit of preview based on what we've seen with Tesla and Google and what these other names might look like, and the key levels that everyone should be paying attention to.